Welcome back. It is time now for today's Talk Back segment. Each day we post a question on CourtTV's social media pages. We gather your comments and questions and respond right here on the show. Now today we got reactions to how Darrell Brooks is presenting his case, including his opening statements. Still with me, criminal defense attorney David Bruno. All right, David, our first comment comes from Roxanne Long. She says, was this man crying while he was running over and killing people? No. So he can just keep his fake tears to himself. He has no heart. Fair enough. I mean, if a juror felt that way or anybody listening to him felt that way, you cannot fault them. But I don't know. How did you feel about those tears?
Look, I mean, I think your last guest in the last segment said it right. I think those tears have a lot to do with the situation that he's in. He's going to jail for the rest of his life. And yeah, maybe when he reflects on that day and hearing the stories and seeing the victims and hearing how that day affected so many, he may be partially responsible for those emotions. But I'd imagine Mr. Brooks is crying because he knows where he's going, and that's prison for the rest of his life.
Yes, sir. All right, our next comment comes from Queen Rose. Queen Rose says, in part, I think that his tears are sincere and that they are not for himself. He clearly said how bad he and his family feels about the horrific things that have happened. Now, I believe his opening statement was what he needed to show that he is not a monster or a demon. And again, I think if someone felt that way, that's a legitimate feeling about his opening statement. I think you kind of touched on it, that's one of the things you would be trying to do if you were representing him, try to get him away from people seeing him as a monster or a demon. But the problem is, without the support, he's just not going to be able to really pull this off.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, I've been very critical of this man representing himself from the start. He who represents himself as a fool for a client. But after today, I did think, you know, this could be one great opportunity for a defendant without taking the stand to inject the humanization, humanize himself, and get a different view in front of a jury. His problem is the facts don't support a defense. They don't. We didn't talk about this earlier, but that mechanical expert that the state called, it's unbelievable to me. He never opened the hood. He never looked at the engine. There wasn't a thorough examination of the car. And if Brooks knew what he was doing and had attorneys that knew what they were doing, they would have attacked that because the state has the burden of proof to disprove a mechanical defect in that car.
I thought the same thing, and I agree. Someone definitely would have attacked that. All right, David Bruno, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Always appreciate your appearance on the show. Folks, you're going to be sticking around. Coming up next.